Hi friends, I'm here today to talk about Ascension and Ascension Symptoms. I've been speaking a lot about Ascension in my Instagram reels. If you've been watching me on Instagram, my handle is at McKessy, McKessya. And first off, if you don't know what Ascension is, it's a process that the Earth is going through right now. It's been going on for a couple years and it will continue to go on for quite some time. And what we're experiencing right now is we're moving from a third dimensional frequency to a fourth and then a fifth dimensional frequency. It doesn't mean that we're leaving the earth or anything crazy like that. It simply means that our perceptions are getting heightened, our intuition is getting heightened, our ability to have psychic gifts is getting activated because we're moving we're moving again into a different frequency, and so we're becoming more connected to the unified field of consciousness. And the unified field is where all of the galactic community is. That's where they communicate. That's how knowledge is shared. A lot of it's telepathic, and that's how we are going to be once we join the galactic community. So right now, the Earth is in that process of ascension. Now, if you're experiencing extreme tiredness, that could be an ascension symptom. There are a few ascension symptoms. One is tiredness. I know for myself, I can sleep 10 to 12 hours and still wake up and be tired. And that, isn't normal. And, at first you might think, oh, maybe there's something wrong with me health-wise. Am I anemic? There's all kinds of ways to explain it away. But the reality is that many of us are experiencing this because our bodies are adjusting to the change in the frequency. Now, hopefully this will resonate with you when you hear it. If it doesn't yet, that's okay. And it might be that you're not at that point yet where this makes sense. And that's perfectly fine. But I just ask you to keep an open mind and understand that in time, these things will make a lot more sense, and they'll be more in alignment with your belief system. I know it's taken me some time with my belief system. I was someone who didn't believe in extraterrestrial life or UFOs or any of that, which is so funny to me now because I realize how silly that is. And I think now with the disclosures that are happening with the drone sightings and the UFO sightings, all of that is intentional, and it's to help us to awaken, us meaning humanity, to awaken to the reality that we are in an intergalactic multiverse, and that we are going to be meeting our star families, our star neighbors, other star systems, other beings from other star systems. So Ascension is preparing us all for that. It's preparing our bodies, it's preparing our earth frequency, all of it. So those are some of the Ascension symptoms. The other thing I wanted to mention in terms of an update on Ascension is that with the January 11th shift of the North and the South nodes, that made a huge energy uptick. So the North node moved into Pisces and the South node into Virgo. So that really created a huge opening for us to leap forward in our ascension process. And that's what's been happening, right? The ascension's been sort of a gradual process, but every once in a while we have these astrological events that kind of create like a surge of energy or like a leap forward. So we'll take a bigger leap forward. And that was one that really opened a lot of people up to their intuition, to their psychic abilities, to their communications, transmissions with other beings from other systems. And that's going to be happening more and more. Now, one thing I did want to mention is that there are sort of two groups here on Earth. The majority of the people living here on Earth are Earth natives, okay, and are from the Earth and will have a more gradual ascension process. So it's likely that they will, or you, if you're listening to this, and if this resonates for you, it'll be more of a jump from 3D to 4D and then to 5D. It'll be a lot softer and a lot more gradual. A lot of that has to do just simply with your makeup, your body, your DNA, your blood type. All of that means that it's just going to take a little more time and it's a little more gradual. And I will say, if you're listening to this video and none of what I'm saying makes any sense to you, it's very likely that you are an Earth native, because it's going to take you a little bit longer to really buy in to all of these concepts, okay? And that's perfectly fine. Everyone has their own process during ascension. It's different for everybody, and no two situations or experiences are going to be the same. But and I guess this is an important point to make. This is why we have to be patient with one another. I see a lot of people in the spiritual community sort of speaking negatively about those that haven't awoken yet, that are not yet fully awake. And that's really unfair, because we're all at our own our own journey, and it's taking everyone their own time to understand what's happening here. And it's not unusual for people to have a lot of fear around what's been going on. There's been a lot of things happening. As I record this on January 19th, there's been, the California fires that happened. There's going to be other things that are going to be coming up, and that's another video for another day. But just to say that, there's a lot of fear in the collective, and we have to respect that people are at their different points in their journey, and we try to help them understand that there's really no need for the fear. I understand why you would be fearful, but if you understand the bigger picture of what's happening, that really helps understand that we're going through a really good process for the sake of humanity. It's just that there are negative forces that don't want this to happen, okay? And that's the decision we made. When we came to Earth, we decided to live in a dual reality where there's good, bad, light, dark. That's part of being in this dualistic reality here on the 3D. As we move through the dimensional frequencies up to 5D, you'll see that everything shifts and there's more of a unified consciousness, and things are not so black and white, bad or good, dark or light, evil or good. It's more all love and all compassion and all, good, really. So that's why it's actually a time to be really excited to be living in these prophetic times that were prophesied in the book of Revelations in the Bible and in all other religions. And so really it's a time to be excited. So that's the difference between the two groups in terms of the Earth natives and the star seeds. I haven't spoken about that. So the star seeds, there's I think about 2 million or so, I might have that number wrong, but millions of star seeds on the planet who have come here from other star systems to assist with the ascension process. Did all of us know that we were star seeds? No, absolutely not. Clearly didn't know because I didn't believe in extraterrestrial life. But now that I'm in my ascension process, I'm beginning to wake up to the reality of who I am, that I came from the Pleiades, I have Lyran background. These are things you'll start to learn if you're a starseed about your star family, and you'll start to open up to that and to communications with them. That's another exciting aspect of the ascension process. Now, there are astrologists out there that can help you understand, if you are a starseed, what your origins might be. And I highly encourage you to do that if that's something that resonates for you. But we will see more and more activations happening, more and more people waking up. The Galactic Federation of Light, which is now known as the Galactic Alliance, is really excited about this. They are super focused on helping humanity with the ascension process. They will not interfere with our free will. That's something they will absolutely not do. But they will assist us as best they can, and they will ward off any serious threats. Any sort of nuclear tinkering, if you want to say it that way, any sort of threats of a nuclear explosion, that won't happen because they will step in, because that's something that affects the multiverse, and that's something that's beyond free will. That can really impact a lot of star systems in our universe, so they won't let that happen. But otherwise, if as I'm recording this, it's the day before the inauguration. If something were to happen to the incoming President Trump, they are not going to stop it necessarily because, again, they understand that we have free will. We live in a dualistic 3D reality where there's good and bad, and these things could happen. Now, the angels, and that's another thing, you'll start to get more downloads from the angelic realm as you ascend, and they have been saying that they did intercede with the first assassination attempt against Trump. That was because, well, it's too much to get into, but there was a necessity, let's just say it that way, to do it then. Now, if they allow it to happen, and I'm not hoping for that, obviously, regardless of whether you voted for him or not, we really don't want anyone to interfere with the democratic process or our peaceful transition of power. So I don't want it to happen. But should it happen, if it were to happen, it's simply because there's a reasoning behind it, and angels won't interfere if that were to be the case. Now, why would there be a reason? That's another whole conversation regarding soul contracts and that sort of thing. And I'll leave that for another video. But this is simply to give an update on the ascension process, to let everyone know that things are going well. I am in very frequent communication with Galactic Alliance and Earth Alliance, and they're really happy with how things are going. And So I just wanted to share that here today. And I hope you all are staying safe, staying in the present moment. That's super, super important. And, you know, another thing that's really beautiful about this ascension and what's been happening, even astrologically, with this shift rather to the North Node in Pisces, we're going to see an uptick in spirituality, a revivalist movement, if you want to call it that, back towards God, Source Creator, back towards our own divinity. So now is a really great time to, if you haven't already, establish a prayer practice or some sort of spiritual practices that support you through the ascension process, connecting with your divine self and connecting with God's Source Creator. So I hope that that's something that you're exploring. If you haven't already, it'll help tremendously as we continue to ascend. And it will help as we move into what some might call the time of tribulation, where there's going to be some difficult times ahead for the collective. And that's okay, because we know ultimately it's for the purpose of ascending fully. And we're going to get there, but there will be continuous spiritual battles along the way. So being in a prayerful state of mind is super important, and meditating, if you can, is also super important. So those are my recommendations. Have a wonderful, blessed day.